Hello. So, Ringo Starr came out with a new CD. It's country western called Long, Long Road. And if you purchase the CD or the LP through Ringo's website, there's a chance you may get a signed copy. It's randomly signed. So I immediately canceled my Amazon order, and I ordered it from Ringo's website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this in front of you guys to see if I got Ringo's signed copy. Now, I believe this is the CD. I haven't got, let's see, no, it's the album. I haven't got the CD yet, so this is the vinyl. And with that, no, it's the CD. Okay, so it's the CD. And you're supposed to get this signed by Ringo. So let's see if he signed it. Now, I'm waiting for the LP, so we will continue this when the LP comes out. And it shows nothing. Nope, not signed. Okay, so part one. I'll be back. Hello, my peeps. Okay. So here we are a couple days later, and I got the vinyl version of Ringo's new album, Long, Long Road. Now, what I'm going to do is open this up, see if I got a signed lithograph. I'm going to be honest, I don't think I did, because of where the album came from. It was distributed out of Florida, and I'm just thinking, well, I don't think that is going to be the case, but you never know. And I'm going to check this out right now. So here's the album, and no signed lithograph. So that's that. But let's take a look at the album anyway, and then I'm gonna review it. Okay. It was a good try. We got John Lennon's autograph. I want another Beatles. Pissed off. I mean, damn, Ringo, cut me some slack. So here's the album. Oof. Okay. And then there'll be something to do signed in here. Here's the vinyl. And then there's the inner whatever with the songwriting credits and the musician credits. So there you have it. Big disappointment, but that's okay. Live another day. Now, hold on here. Let's talk about the album, which I am going to refer to with the CD because it's easier to handle. This is Ringo's second country album in about a year, almost a year and a half. And this one, and this is produced by T-Bone Burnett. And here's the thing. I said many times while he was putting out all this other stuff that he puts out an album about every 2 years, every 2 years, and he produces it himself, and he has a little recording studio in his house, and so he basically has the same musicians, and also he writes his own music, or he was. And my complaint with that was, first of all the songs were sounding the same. They all had the same formula, peace and love. But also, Ringo's probably the best rock and roll drummer ever. There's some that were, Keith Moon, John Bonham, many who were unbelievable as far as being a rock drummer, but comparing in the bands that they were in, I mean, I don't think Ringo Starr would have worked with Led Zeppelin or The Who. I mean, so, when you say, I guess it's opinion, but Ringo is a very well-respected and influential drummer. So he's a great drummer. Not the best songwriter. He's really not a songwriter. And he's, his singing is limited, but you know what? His singing isn't bad. But he has a lot of limitations because of that. Because, so his first few proper albums, the Ringo album, Goodnight Vienna, Rotogravure, were all part of this effort to get Ringo singing songs written by other people, produced by other people, and these albums were good. As time went on, the albums did get weaker, but they were still listenable. They weren't as good as the first three, probably. The first one, the Ringo album, being the best. But nonetheless, they were great albums. And then Mark Hudson started producing for him, and he produced Ringo for about 10 years. And those albums were better than the previous maybe 3 or 4 albums. Also, he was a good, he was a good producer. The problem with Mark Hudson was that he wanted to be a Beatle so bad. And he made, he put the Beatles touch in damn near every song that Ringo sang. And it became kind of embarrassing, in my opinion. I just didn't, But they were good albums. They really were. And, I'm not going to really complain too much. But those albums, Vertical Man, I got them all here, but Ringorama, he even did a Christmas album called I Want to Be Santa Claus, which was really good. So my point is, and I'm not going to say make a long story short because that ship sailed. Ringo's not a great songwriter, and he needs a proper producer. and he needs proper musicians, which he really has most of the time. So that's my whole deal with Ringo. So he comes out with this country album, and you know, it's titled "Look Up." This was last year, and it was it was good. It's a proper country album with a proper producer and good musicians. They were country musicians for the most part, and it was very well recognized. So let's do it again. So then he comes out this year with Long Long Road. Another good album. Different musicians, a few of them the same, but he had a few guest stars on it. And on this one, he didn't write but only one or two of the songs, and those were the weakest. And here's the problem that I find with Look Up and Long Long Road. You know, there's no songs that grab you. They're listenable songs, and I'm enjoying it. And I've heard Long Long Road now. It's been out a week, and I've heard it probably 5 or 6 times. They're nice songs, but not memorable. And that's the problem that he's had in the past, I'm going to say 10 years at least, since he left Mark Hudson. There's nothing memorable about his music, his songs. Now, I'm going to say this. His drumming on this album is awesome. I mean, awesome. No solos, but just they're Ringo drums. And that's almost my favorite part of the album, is hearing his drums. But I'm just saying that, you know, this is a real proper country album, and it's not 80s country, 90s country, millennial country. It is 50s, maybe 60s style country, so it's old style country. But it's just not, I mean, like I said, it's you know, if I had to grade it, you know, I don't know, C plus, B minus, and that's a good grade. But I just wish he would, you know, I mean, the guy's going to be 86 in July. I don't know how many albums he has left, but you know, I wish he'd just put out a regular good Ringo Starr album like he used to, and have guest stars and have other people on it who are songwriters, and a producer that you know, has produced many other acts. T-Bone Burnett, he's a good producer, but you know, the few albums that I've had that he's produced, Elton John, Leon Russell, The Union, he produced another Elton album, I think, and like I said, the last Ringo album and this current Ringo album, you know, I don't know if I like him as a producer, but you know, that's, you know, who am I? So anyway, that's my review. I'm going to say that it's, instead of giving it a grade, I will give it 3.5 stars. That's good. That's a good grade. 3.5 stars out of 5. All right. So The disappointment isn't the album by far, because it's you know, 3.5 out of 5. The big disappointment is that I didn't get a signed lithograph. But what are you gonna do? All right. Till then, I'll see you all later.